All right, today we're going to be learning about positive and negative numbers. As you can see, our essential question today is how can you use numbers that are less than 0 to describe real-world situations? So as you're writing that down, remember to follow along and complete the notes. Think of questions for each section and write them on the left column. And remember, at the end of your notes, you'll need to write a summary that answers your questions. So I'll give you some time to write down the essential question at the top of your note sheet. Okay, first topic is negative numbers. We haven't worked with negative numbers yet this year, but you might have some experience with them. Negative numbers are the values to the left of 0 on the number line are called negative numbers and are labeled with a negative sign. All right, so for example, if we have a number line like so, 0's in the middle. On this side, we have all of our positive numbers, 1, 2, 3, and so on. On this side, we have all of our negative numbers. So again, negative numbers are left of 0. That's this side of 0. So you might want to draw that example out so you know which direction the negatives are. And along those lines, since we have arrows here, we're talking about these going on forever. The word for that is infinity. So the negatives go on for infinity, and the positives go on for infinity, which means with no end. So these numbers go on and on and on forever. You can never name all the positive numbers, and in the same way, you can never name all the negative numbers. They would go on forever. Give you a chance to write that down, and then write some questions over to the side. Oh, before I forgot, we also have a symbol for infinity. It's a figure 8 on its side. Basically, it's an oval that never begins and never ends. So it's infinite. It goes on and on forever. Okay, now you can write a question to the side. Okay, next, opposite numbers. So in the idea of positive and negatives, opposite numbers are the reflections of each other across 0 on the number line. So again, for example, go ahead and draw this number line, put some hash marks there. The middle one's going to be 0. Now, on the other side, one side of 0, we have positive 2. And then on the other side, the same distance from 0, we have negative 2. So these are opposites. It reflects across the 0. If I were to put a line down the middle, and this was a mirror, we would see a reflection, 2 and negative 2. So the opposite of 2 is negative 2. Opposite of 2, negative 2. And the opposite of negative 2 is 2. All right? Each is each other's opposite. So notice, if I want to make a positive number the opposite, I just put a negative in front of it. If I want to make a negative number its opposite, I take away the negative sign and it's a positive. It's like a light switch. If it's on, turn it off. If it's off, turn it on. Give you a chance to write down questions on the side. Okay, now absolute value. Absolute value is like magnitude in science. Okay, it's how far. All right? So the magnitude or absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on a number line. Now magnitude does not have any direction. All right, so we don't need to worry about positives or negatives. We're just worried about how far away is it. So for example, again, same number line, draw it. And then put 0 in the middle. And then 2's on this side and negative 2's on this side. Keeping it simple. The absolute value of 2 is 2, okay? So we're not dealing with opposites here. Is how far is this number 2 away from 0? Well, it's 1, 2 away. So the absolute value of 2 is 2. Again, it doesn't matter what direction it's going. And in the same way, the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Okay, why is that? Well, negative 2 is how far away from 0? It's 2 places from 0. So even though it's on the other side of 0, it's still just 2 places from 0. Notice it's not negative 2 away, because it's magnitude. We don't worry about positive or negative. We just worry about how far it is. It's an amount. Now, The symbol for absolute values are these two long lines that are parallel. Don't get these confused with parentheses. They are straight lines. So for example, the way we use that is we put a number in between those two lines, and the way I would read that is the absolute value of -2, and as we found out here, it is 2. So the absolute value of -2, how far is it from 0, is 2. So anytime you see those absolute value signs, ask yourself, how far is this number from 0? Okay, give you a little bit of time to write out the question, and now we're done with our notes, so you can be starting to write your summary.